Huh? This is the Brig rework? Oh my, what is this, 2018? Welcome to Season 4. Here we go. Let's begin with Reinhardt. His HP is decreased from 625 to 600. More specifically, his armor is being decreased from 300 to 250, but his white health is being increased from 175 to 200. Here's what the devs have to say about Rein. He's been overperforming after the recent increases to his offensive capabilities. Those changes have been playing well, so to adjust his overall power, we're reducing his overall health through this armor reduction. I think this change is acceptable. I mean, Lifeweaver's in the game now, and he can save the Rein if he goes in too deep, so I'm curious to see how this plays out, but I have no qualms with this. For Sigma, the total direct damage of accretion is being reduced from 100 to 80. He's losing 20 damage on the direct impact from 60 to 40 more specifically. This is impactful because it messes up his one-shot burst combo against 200 HP targets. They will now live. To compensate though, the stun is increased from 0.8 to 1.1 second. The dev comments are, like Roadhog's chain hook, Sigma's accretion and primary fire combo can be highly lethal and can feel like a guaranteed kill against 200 health targets. We're reducing the damage slightly to require an additional volley of primary fire, but are also increasing the stun duration to provide allies with more opportunity to follow up on successful impacts. Pretty much what I said before. Ever since Ashe was released like over 5 years ago, she's always been able to get ultimate charge even while Bob is active, and this is footage from the pre-patch. You can see 23%, 31% ult charge while Bob is shooting. It's kind of what makes her good. But now they're fixing a bug, so this isn't actually marked as a balance change. This is a bug fix where she's no longer able to gain ult charge. So now I'm at 0% at the end of Bob compared to the pre-patch where I was literally at 30% after Bob. This is a giga nerf. My take is that if you're going to fix this as a bug, you got to do it for the other heroes, like for Wrecking Ball as well, who could also gain ult charge after his mines are out. Alright, for Cassidy, his HP is being brought back down from 225 to 200. Additionally, the mag grenade damage is being reduced from 131 to 120, which means you survive a follow-up body shot because it changes the breakpoint. The devs said that mag grenade only requiring one additional primary fire shot after sticking to a target was too reliable to execute on, even though it only works at close range. We are reducing the total damage on magnetic grenade, evenly split between the direct target damage and explosion. The reduced fall-off damage buff his primary fire received recently enables Cassidy to play from safer engagement ranges now, so we're reducing his health back to 200. Cass was considered one of the top DPS hit scan choices after that fall-off range buff in mid-season 3, so I'm okay with these changes. I still think mag grenade's kind of a BS ability, but it is what it is. Hopefully that whole thing gets reworked eventually. Let's move on. Sombra's EMP can now disable Blizzard. It completely wipes it out. Now, in this footage, this visual, I'm still getting frozen by it because this test build doesn't have it implemented, but it will be live in that Season 4 patch on April 11th. I just need something to play in the background. The devs comment that we're expanding what Sombra's EMP turns off to keep it consistent with how it affects other device-controlled ultimates. For Ana, her sleep dart's getting a nerf where its maximum duration is being reduced on tanks only from 5 to 3.5 seconds. The devs comment that we've been watching how effective Sleep Dart has been in 5v5 gameplay. It hasn't been overly disruptive as a whole, but since it is significantly more reliable to land against tank heroes due to their large hitboxes and even more valuable to do so with only one tank on the field, we're reducing its maximum duration against those targets. As a totally not biased Ana main, I'm a little sad that this is the case, but I understand their reasoning. They're staying aligned with the whole idea of tanks feeling tanky or wanting them to feel tanky with knockback resistance with the tank passive and now CC reduction against Sleep Dart. But if they're going to do this for Ana, they should probably reduce stuns by like 20% on other heroes as well. Like if a Sigma rocks another tank, they should be stunned for less, Javelin, Doom Punched, etc, etc. Brig's repair pack range is being reduced from 30 meters to 25 meters. As you can see, I'm standing around the same distance, but I can't pack the training bot from here. Now onto Rally, her ultimate, and this is what it looked like before. You know it, you love it. But this is what the reworked Rally looks like. Yeah. First of all, that shield fattens up and goes from 300 to 750 HP. She now gains 100 restorable armor health pool for the duration of Rally, which means if you get shot and you get healed, you have like 300 base HP now with 100 extra armor. That does mean she no longer gradually builds that green temporary health like her allies, which, by the way, it still works for the allies. It's just herself that gets that 100 armor instantly. The biggest change is that Shield Bash with that ginormous Giga Shield can impact multiple enemies now, and it briefly stuns them. It's like we're back in 2018 from OG Brig. This is insane because you can now stun Rein through his shield and set up like a Bash Shatter, or you can stun Diva's Bomb, for example, to stop it in its tracks. This is crazy. The only slight nerf is that her bonus movement speed she gets while in rally is being reduced from 30 to 15%, but overall this is still a ginormous net buff. The developer comments that Rally lost some of its power with the change from granting allies additional armor to temporary health. They mean that in Overwatch too, and overall took a relatively long time to build up its defensive benefits. This rework is intended to keep it as a defensive ultimate, but with a more immediate impact due to gaining an increased armor health pool up front and the enhanced barrier, which can be utilized to block for teammates while their temporary health builds or to interrupt enemies with the stun. In my opinion, Brig was already pretty good after the mid-season 3 patch, and with Rally being this strong again, holy smokes, I actually see her being the meta support in season 4. Good luck, gamers. For Mercy, her healing per second is going to be increased from 45 to 55. That's nice. However, the healing is no longer increased for allies under half health. For Guardian Angel, the cooldown is being reduced from 2.5 to 1.5 seconds. That's really good. That's the old Mercy. The jump and crouch cancel active ability state duration is being increased from 1 to 1.5 seconds. Sounds like a mouthful, but it's a nerf to both the jump, which is a slingshot, and the crouch state, which is a super jump, which basically means it won't go on cooldown until after that 1.5 second timer, and you can no longer manually interrupt it to begin the cooldown early. And a small buff to her ult, the support role passive healing is now active for the duration of Valkyrie. The devs have a lot of comments here. The recent increase to Guardian Angel's jump cancel mobility, aka the super jump, still needs to be kept in check, such as not being ready to use GA again after flying in and using Resurrect. This revision provides more flexibility and allows Mercy to opt into an additional 1.5 second cooldown when using the increased mobility from the jump crouch cancel options, or otherwise waiting for the base cooldown time. The increased healing multiplier condition on Caduceus staff was intended to help Mercy players feel more agency in trying to save critical health allies and to add depth to the healing mechanic without changing the total time to heal to full health. However, the overall rebalance of the healing values received significant negative feedback, both from those playing as Mercy and those playing against it. I agree. There wasn't a satisfying middle ground where we could reduce the potency of this effect while still having it feel impactful, so we're reverting it. It was certainly frustrating to play and fight against someone who was getting pocketed by Mercy when they were under half health, so I'm happy that change got reverted. However, I actually think not being able to cancel your GA or super jump early to start the cooldown faster is actually going to affect her for both the fluidity, and it'll probably feel clunky, to be honest with you. I kind of feel bad for Mercy players. She gets changed every single patch. For Moira, the lingering heal duration is increasing from 2 to 3 seconds. That's a buff. Her Fade can actually now be activated during Coalescence. That's a significant buff. To compensate though, Coalescence bonus movement speed is being reduced from 50 to 40%, but honestly, you don't really notice it. The devs comment that being able to use Fade during her Coalescence ultimate gives Moira more playmaking ability by being able to reposition even more quickly and avoid potential threats with quick reactions. Due to the more spread out playstyle of 5v5, we're increasing the lingering heal duration from her primary fire, meaning it will heal more in total. Be careful of these TikTok Moiras is all I gotta say. She's actually pretty solid. And that's it for the balance changes. Lifeweaver is also a new support hero being added to the roster. I have a full separate video breaking down his abilities, so I won't go over it here. I'll link it on the end screen and have it pop up on the top right now. One more quick thing is that all the maps are back into the rotation. They're removing the idea of map pools, so Gibraltar is returning, Hollywood is back, and it also has a nighttime shader. That's pretty cool. And New Queen Street also has dawn lighting. It's early in the morning in Toronto. Literally, it's actually 8 a.m. right now, and I'm recording this in the morning, and I'm from Toronto, and I'm gonna go to bed. Take care. Hope you enjoyed this overview. Peace.